Hello, ladies and gentlemen, my name's StepsBasic, and welcome back to my community show. Yeah. Today, we are going to be talking about one of the most annoying things in the world, and that is a non-troversy. Now, for those who don't know, a non-troversy is basically something that happens on the internet, or happens and then gets the internet all in a tizzy, but has absolutely no real-world consequences, or conflict, or care. What I'm trying to say is, here are things that a lot of people got upset about that I just didn't have the energy or time or wherewithal to care about. These things have happened my entire life. I've remembered them forever. I mean, I can remember them happening for basically as long as I've been alive. Now, of course, the internet has made them far more accessible, far more ready, and far more available. One of the big things I can remember from childhood was the parents petitioning the school board to ban Harry Potter in the schools. It's one thing I can remember, because Satan worship and whatnot. And of course, Dungeons and Dragons went the same way and whatnot. But this is an example of a non-troversy, because these are just works of fiction that promote nothing in that way. I being the type of person who enjoys that sort of content, not the non-troversies, but, you know, the fantasy genre, Dungeons and Dragons, Harry Potter style content and whatnot, that artists and whatnot have released. I say whatnot way too much. I need to stop saying whatnot. Being the person that I am, I really enjoy these types of media, and the mediums in which they're produced. Video games suffer the non-troversy of blaming all, saying that all video gamers are violent and just ticking time bombs, and that video games breed the violence that we see in society. But believe it or not, every single other form of medium has suffered the same accusations, from literally books and reading to what is now video games, and it has hit every single one of them. That sort of non-troversy. But now that you understand what I'm talking about, it took me... Shut up. It took me... What was it, 8:30 now? It took me 2.5 hours to just think of 4 that have happened recently. Because that is what they are. They come in like a hurricane. They blow up things and get people angry and riled up, and then they're gone and nobody cares anymore. And so I picked the first 4 I could think of after an hour or 2 hours and a half of trying to remember them. And this video comes with a bit of a cautionary tale. Everybody gets swept up in these things, gets angry, gets riled up, and gets frustrated, and starts throwing out accusations of stupidity and whatnot, and stupid accusations at everybody, but fails to realize that in a couple of months, and heck, even in the moment, these don't matter. For example, the holiday cup at Starbucks. Nobody cared. Nobody really cared about it. But because somebody decided to raise a stink about it on the internet, everyone had to care about it for a little while. So, let's go on to our first topic, which is, which non-troversy did I just not have the energy or wherewithal to care about? And, of course, it is none other than the Lola Bunny situation. For those of you who may not know, there were people up in arms that Lola Bunny was no longer sexy. To be perfectly honest, I don't care. I have never cared about Lola Bunny's appearance. Lola Bunny was a bunny and a cartoon, and I was never attracted to a cartoon bunny. Although, Bugs, when he gets dressed up, man, woo-hoo-hoo. That being said, this did cover over another, I think, far more salient complaint that I did have about the movie and the marketing that happened beforehand, and that was people pretending that Pepe Le Pew was ever marketed as anything other than a cautionary tale. Nobody I know in the entirety of my life has ever looked at Pepe Le Pew and said, I want to be that guy. In fact, everyone laughs at him for how stupid he is and how repulsive he is. And that's why, for the most part, they used a skunk in the iconology of it, because what represents more repulsiveness than a skunk. Most people will say, ew, skunk, gross. Nobody, absolutely nobody, ever thought that Pepe Le Pew was the good guy in those stories. Never idolized him and never wanted to be him. So the non-troversy of Lola Bunny covered up a bigger controversy, which is people thinking that others actually supported Pepe Le Pew. You know what I'm saying? And that's another little theme to think about when it comes to these non-troversies, is if one comes up, what are they hiding? What are they trying to pretend isn't happening? That's my conspiratorial tinfoil hat going on there. So yeah, just in case you didn't know. So next one, going all the way back to, I think it was 2016. Let's talk about the all-female Ghostbusters. Now, I didn't have the energy or the wherewithal or the care to think about this movie. I saw it came out. I thought, whatever. If people are going to enjoy it, people are going to enjoy it. Because that's just me. I don't care. I've never cared about the genders or specifically who the on-screen people were. If I see a girl character, I'm like, okay. If I see a guy character, I'm like, okay, whatever. And representation, it literally does not matter to me. I don't care who the leads are. However, this did bring up another thing. This did cover up another issue I have, which is the whole idea of outrage marketing. They came out with this movie where they literally cast everybody as women. Now, of course, not literally, because there are men in the video, there are men in the movie, but basically everybody who was important became a female. Somebody breathed the words, I don't want to watch it, and all of a sudden, boom! Explosion of, if you don't want to watch this movie, you're sexist. Outrage marketing. It is frustrating and annoying and literally puts me off of ever wanting to watch whatever you put out. That's how it affects me. Other people are like, the Streisand effect. It's like, well, I guess I gotta watch it now because everyone's saying it's dumb. And then other people are like, well, I guess I gotta watch it now just to prove I'm not a sexist. And me, I'm over here like, if you're gonna use outrage marketing to try to get my watch, well, I'm sorry. Now the problem is with this one especially, or specifically, and with most other things, is outrage marketing works. And I hate that it works because people are going to keep using it. And they tried to do it with Black Panther. I still watch Black Panther because the outrage marketing petered off pretty quickly. I hated the CGI in it, but overall it was a fairly decent movie. I enjoyed it. And they've used it for so many other things, and I really hate outrage marketing. As one thing, while the movie itself I had no energy to care about, the subtle, not the subtle, the overt outrage marketing just got to me, and I hate you for that. I hate you so much. Number 3. I've only got 4 of these, so don't worry, we're almost done. Number 3 is Muscular Abby. Now, I made pretty obvious back in the beginning of the whole Last of Us 2 saga is that I was going to wait until the movie came out. I was going to wait until the game came out on account of the fact that, going back to the 2016 remark, outrage marketing doesn't work on me, but The Last of Us 2 was a direct continuation of The Last of Us 1, and therefore I was going to play it regardless of what outrage media they were using. At the same time, I saw a lot of people, or at least enough people, complaining about the fact that Abby was muscular. She had a good build. And honestly, playing through the game, she wasn't that particularly muscular. I've seen more muscular women. And that prompted people on the Twitterverse to start posting pictures of themselves with muscles. And I'm like, I stand a muscular queen. I like it. I don't care. I don't care that people are upset about it. And I myself can't work up the energy to care about it and whatnot. But I did kind of like the backlash of people saying, women aren't that muscular. And then all of a sudden, women are that muscular. Of course, having worked in the military, I got to see a wide gamut of people who actually cared about their bodies. So, we ended up seeing muscular women. I completely forgot to actually mention what I felt like was the actual controversy in this situation, which was artists, writers, creators, etc., completely destroying the good aspects of their character, i.e., kindness, caring, creativity, intelligence, etc., for the sake of plot. Now, of course, The Last of Us 2 is not the only media guilty of this, but it did a really egregious job of destroying Ellie in the process. Back to me. Now, the last one is fairly recent. I saved it for last because it kind of contains spoilers for Masters of the Universe Revelations. So if you don't want to hear that, move on. Now, again, spoiler alert, spoiler warning, spoiler alert, spoiler warning. This is the last topic, but if you want to skip to, you'll see the outro of the video. But this is the last topic. Master of the Universe Revelation was marketed as a He-Man movie, or a He-Man show. It was marketed as it, and nobody can deny the fact that it was marketed as that. People are upset because they did not get what they wanted. They wanted He-Man. I didn't care. I saw Masters of the Universe, and I'm like, pretty cool. He-Man? I like He-Man. I had a He-Man toy as a kid. I had a little power sword. I was like, I have the power. Woo, woo, woo. But understanding this is like understanding the fact that there is a torch that needs to be passed. I didn't like the fact that Kevin Smith lied. I really didn't like that because, I hold him to a little bit of a level of integrity. However, I can explain it away and excuse it away as, I don't want to spoil anything. When they came out and said, He-Man dies in the first episode. However, I'm not upset about the fact that he died. I like the way he died. He literally sacrificed himself to save the world. Granted, through the auspices of the rest of the episodes, it's proved that that did not matter. The world was going to die because he sacrificed himself in the way he did. It was just going to be a slower death. Which, in a way, is good because then, they have a chance to work to save it. Whereas if it exploded in their faces the way it did, the way it was going to, then, it would have killed them outright. And they would have had no chance to fix it. So, what is my actual issue with the show? Kevin Smith, I have watched everything, basically, with the exception of the newest Jay and Silent Bob movie. I have watched every single one of his movies. I have read a number of his comics. I have watched even things that were directed by him before. This man, and going back to the whole idea of representation, has written some of the best female characters. He has written some of the strongest female characters. He has written great stories, from Dogma to Chasing Amy, which is actually one of my favorite of the Universe. He has written so much, and he is a comic book fan. And the best motivation he could get was Teela was upset because she was lied to about Adam's identity. I hated that. He is a writer. He is a director. He has created so much, and what he did to Teela in that throne room had me pissed off for the rest of the show. All of the rest of the episodes. Now, don't get me wrong. This isn't the only egregious thing that he did, but I expect better from somebody who knows how to write a story. Is to not take a kind, caring, compassionate, awesome person and turn them into a petulant child who literally spits on grieving parents. Well, not literally. She didn't spit on them, but she threw her tiara down and was like, screw you guys for lying to me about Adam's identity. What? Now, a better motivation would have been like, I just lost my best friend in the most horrific accident, or most horrific event in my entire life. I am shaken to the core. I can't do this. Your Majesties, I have to resign because there's no way I could be fully functional in this position. Then she can develop a hatred for heroic actions because she dwells on the fact that her best friend gave up his life in an act of heroism. That would have been a great way to do it, because she would have shown her compassion, shown her caring, in that she lost her best friend, so she was broken up about it. And then saw that it was heroism, which was the direct result of all of the pain that resulted in all of the pain that she felt. So she would come to scorn heroism. And that was without even trying. You, sir, are a much better writer than that, and I am very ashamed about that. Now, that being said, it's your work. You write it how you want. That's how I've always felt, and that's what I always believe. But that doesn't stop me from having an opinion about it. I don't care that He-Man wasn't the main character for the first half of the season. It didn't matter to me. You know what? I'm a good guy. I appreciate that things move forward without me. And if I decide to rage against them, then I'm going to be upset for a long time. I don't like that you lied about it and then lied about lying about it. I wish you'd have done better. But I can also understand that, not wanting to spoil the series. But what you did to Tila is not something I can easily ignore, being a writer myself and knowing the works that Kevin Smith has done in the past. I don't know why I suddenly shifted talking directly to Kevin Smith as if he's going to watch this video. But apart from all that, that is 4 non-Troversies that in some way covered up a bigger problem that people tend to ignore. So, what's an example of a non-Troversy to you that you have seen go by and been like, why are people upset about this? I'd like to hear about those in the comments. Make sure to leave them down there. But apart from that, on to announcements for today. We are moving along with all of the funny changes. You'll notice that at the end of this video, there's a new end card, which I put a lot of work into, and I'm very proud. But beyond that, there was also I've been working on my highlight things that I've been sitting on for years, literally years. I'm working on those, getting them compiled. I still have a lot more work to do, but you know, it's getting done. And we started into Borderlands 2 this week, and we have been working on that as well. That's all the announcements for today. Thank y'all so much for joining me for this episode of The Community Show. Hopefully you enjoyed it. And if you did, please don't poke that like button for me. If you'd like to see more from me, make sure to hit that subscribe button. And of course, as always, you are more than welcome to leave a comment down in the comment section down below, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And when I can, if I can, you know all that jazz. And tune in next time as we talk about another topic at another time. And until then, good night.